the Menace. Menace is Sobriety.
Not only was I dangerous to myself, but I was a fucking dangerous to other people because I was so, I'm not, I was violent. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know whether it was the mood swings or whatever, but I didn't care. The fuck it button had been pushed a long time before that.
Self-destructing.
Yeah, 100%. So I was ready to do whatever. And I suppose, I was violent towards my dad, which, looking back at it now, fucking breaks my heart to think about.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Sorry.
That's okay, mate. That's okay. This is the tough part about sobriety, is the clarity, looking back. And was that just arguing at home? Let it out, mate. You can let it out.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even that. It was more of I had so much resentment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just felt like everyone had wronged me. Do you know what I mean? Like I talk about my parents, they like to drink, but they can stop drinking. So if they want to have a drink, and I resented it, I then look back and thought, You've
been drinking around me, it's your fault.
Yeah, but it's not.
Of course it's not, no.
Do you know what I mean? And that was something that I had so much resentment towards everyone around me, because I kind of
didn't want to blame yourself.
Yeah, and because I was like, fuck off away from me. It's all your fucking fault I'm like this, or, you done this to me, or you done that. I never looked inside, and, I looked at me and thought, well, you're the one that's done this. Yeah,
and the reason why we don't do that at the time is because if we look at ourselves, it means we've got to make changes, and that's scary. So you fell out with your father, and similar to me, I hate thinking about my wedding because I was smashed. And when I see pictures and stuff, and it's probably the same for you now, you'll look back on them arguments, them things, and you'll think, fucking who was I? But, before we carry on, you got to look at where you are now. It's a beautiful thing. How's your relationship with your father now?
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
he's proud of you, right? It must be.
Oh, mate, 100%. Both my parents are. And, I think, when that had all happened, and, I was violent, and that, even the next day I was just like,
what am I doing?
Yeah, but it was kind of like, I was so in denial about my addiction and, where I was going and who I was becoming. I just almost didn't want to look at it.
Yeah, of course not. So you bury it.
Yeah. You're just like that, right, and carry on going. So I think, this was obviously the lead up to. So I said to everyone, I'm going to stop working. Because I was still working at this time.
Still around them people, still having good days, and then the good days were turning into drinking days. Yeah.
And I think I said to everyone, I'm going to have 3 weeks off work. I'm going to sort myself out. I started going to these group sessions at this place, at this drug centre. And it was in the town centre. So I was going there. I was going into a group. There'd be like 3 groups each day. Go into the group, talk to people, go into the Weatherspoons, have a pint of Stella as a reward. Do you know what I mean? That's what it was. Straight up. That's what I was doing. I was going in there.
I love you, man. You remind me of me so much.
Go and have a beer, sit there on my own like I'm 65 with a newspaper. Go have a beer, go to the next group, lie, go, oh yeah, no, I'm doing really well, things are really great. And then once the group sessions were done, go and get absolutely smashed. And then go home, and then, mum or dad would go, how was today? I'll be going, oh yeah, the sessions were great.
But you were drunk?
Smashed off on face. And they'd just be like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? So it was just like
and they could see this happening.
Yeah, towards the end of it, I'll say, they knew that there was a problem. But as I said, trying to speak to me at that time, as you probably well know, it ain't going to happen.
Menace is Sobriety.